Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit Podcast. Today I'm thrilled to welcome a very special guest, Jan-Willem Steur, who is joining us all the way from Netherlands. If I talk about John William, then he is one of the well-known IBM champion and a passionate advocate for IBM technologies with a wealth of experience in asset management and sustainability solutions. Jen Williams' career journey is quite fascinating blend of technology and innovation from creating the EAM business capability model to campaigning the IBM Maximo application suite as a transformative tool for business. His contribution to the field of enterprise asset management are both visionary and impactful. So, today in this episode, we will delve into Jan Williams' inspiring journey into asset management, his thoughts on key trends in IBM technologies, and the role of data and AI driving the business transformation. But before we start the discussion, I would like to thank Jan William for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Well, hi, my name is Jan-Willem Steur, also known as JWS, which is much easier for non-Dutch speaking people. Almost 60 years, so still 59 years old, over 40 years in asset management, but something personal. I'm happily married with a lady for over 35 years. I have two children, one granddaughter, which I, of course, adore. That's my private thing. Still in love with my wife, so we have a very good companionship, and that's very much needed, which I explain later on in the questions that Amit is going to question me. About my business career, I started very early. I was 18 years old when I joined the Royal Dutch Navy. And took there for 6 years, eventually was promoted to a corporal, so a kind of team lead, but still doing maintenance execution in the mechanical engineering area. And I was, in fact, maintaining and repairing all the weapon systems on the big frigates which the Royal Dutch Navy have. After 6 years, I left the Navy and I joined Unilever, where I became a shift leader, and I had a team with 28 operators operating in a food manufacturing company, and they are making this kind of cup of soup. You know it probably, it's quite famous all over the world. And there I was pretty much addicted to having the best machine output. That means, okay, please, technical department, please maintain them well, service them well, so that I have the best output. And I was a bit triggered about the lack of historical information, which led to a lot of maintenance and operational delay because of unaware and unnecessary repairs, and that caused a lot of delay. So there I was a bit triggered, and I thought, okay, I left the Navy, I've done this, let's try to start a study in this area. And there I started with operational techniques and also technical administration, business administration, and I was really fascinated about the world of maintenance engineering and reliability engineering. So that's why I took this bachelor, and when I was finished with the bachelor, I had a role at DSM, also world famous, a big company, doing fine chemicals and petrochemicals, so it's more in the oil and gas industry. And there I learned that reliability and engineering is very important to be able to prove that your assets are in the best condition. But even after that, I thought, okay, I want to know more. I'm hungry to learn more. So I started my master and eventually ended up with the Master of Science in Asset and Maintenance Management Strategy. And there I learned the real principles. How can you improve your asset management business within your company, and how can you make it a bit more important instead of, okay, it's an unnecessary evil thing which costs a lot of money, but I need to have it because I need to operate my assets. And I tried to shift that to, okay, it's more a very critical investment to add value to your company. So that's what I have done. And after a number of years, it's about 18 years ago, IBM saw my experience in this area, and they asked me, okay, we need guys like you so that we can improve our systems to support. And so I started at IBM for only 2 years. So I only worked 2 years for IBM. But from that moment until now, I work with IBM. And working with IBM is a totally different story than working for IBM, because now you are known as the domain expert, and I learned a lot of things, and I asked IBM a lot of difficult, complex questions about how are you going to solve this. So that's what my journey is until now.
Okay. All right. So let's take this discussion into more deeper form. Like we just wanted to know about your current role because currently you are serving as a business development uh, manager and SME. So what does your day-to-day role look like? What are those responsibilities that you hold with this prestigious ownership position in your organization, and how does it tie into your passion for the IBM technologies?
Well, becoming a business development manager is not what you choose. It's a certain roadmap where you are growing into, and
Correct.
uh, of course, business development means we are going to develop business with one purpose, having a bit more revenue and saving a bit more costs, so that we are pretty aware that we have that we can continue our daily job also for our colleagues. So I'm developing business, but beside that, it's also developing vision, uh, understanding, and try to see trends
Mhm.
in the industry and in asset management. And one of the nice things within this role is that you are responsible for a kind of scenario thinking. That means I'm not searching for a solution, a proper solution for only 1 year. No, I'm trying to look 10 or 15 years ahead. How does the world look in 2050? And what does this mean for asset management? And do I see a kind of vision? And if I can see this vision, can I take a couple of step backs? What does this mean for our company? And where do we need to drive through? And what direction do we need to take? And it's not only about asset management. We know the world is changing. Climate is changing, sustainability is changing, the political climate is changing. So you have to take into account that all these aspects are very important to understand which direction are we going to choose today, but also tomorrow and also within the next 10 years. So that's one of the major roles. How does IBM Maximo fit in this? Well, as I explained, and that's also the company DNA of
Mhm.
the company I work for, Snaps. We have DNA and we have passion for asset management and IBM Maximo. So what does this mean? I love asset management. We only deal with IBM Maximo as the best EAM solution there is currently. So 1 on 1 is 3. So if I know what the vision is, I also can see, okay, does this have a coverage with IBM Maximo? And if not, then I use my IBM championship and my design membership with IBM product development to drive them with ideas. Okay, guys of IBM, you need to develop this in Maximo because that is a trend. It's not needed now, but it's needed tomorrow. So you have to start yesterday to get it available tomorrow. So that's what a bit my role is, and I love it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, if we talk about IBM product So we often heard from your end that IBM Maximo Application Suite is one of your favorite product. So what makes the suite stand out for you, and like how have you seen it transform the businesses? Because it is a fact that yes, IBM Maximo application is transforming the business need, right? It is completely transforming the area. So what are those things that you think that yes, these are some particular or specific thing that makes it stand out from other products?
Well, one of the things I started with, if you look outside in, and that's what I started because I worked in the industry before I started in the IT
Hmm.
technology. So what I learned over the years is that if people want to have a kind of EAM system like Maximo, they deliver us a lot of IT requirements. How should the product support my requirements, which are IT requirements? I never see business requirements. So uh, going back to the business requirements, what should be the added value? And there I learned that people ask for the highest maturity. However, they are not mature itself because they lack processes, they lack data, but they want to have a technology. And I learned 15 years ago, and that's really a tip also for you, Amit. Try to read the book Lead IT or Lose IT. That's
Okay.
exactly explaining what I'm saying. So if you do not are aware of the real maturity of your company, and then you can say, okay, their Maximo fits full. Even if you have a standard Maximo, it's even too overwhelming. So we have to downgrade it to your level of maturity. However, if you are a bit further, or the industry is further, like aviation or like oil and gas, which are a bit more mature industries, they require also condition monitoring, and they require also asset performance. And there, the Maximum Application Suite is covering, especially the last 5 years, that it
Hmm.
doesn't only cover your maintenance and asset management, it also supports your asset performance management, your condition-based management, your risk-based inspections, but also your uh, asset lifecycle management in terms of, can I predict that an asset
Okay.
is going to reach its end of life, or should I have to replace it much earlier, which takes a lot of cost and risk with it. So, and there, IBM Maximo Application Suite fully covers this entire asset lifecycle process in all the stages, and that's what I really like.
Okay. All right. So I think now it's time to talk bit about the products or the model that you have created, which is a EM business capability model. So how does the outside in business view help less mature companies adopt IBM Maximo more effectively? And also elaborate about this product, this model that you have created, EAM business capability. So these are the two questions. Please answer it.
Yeah. So I started with the BCM model based on the asset management maturity model. So that was before. So as I explained to you, I have experienced a lot of immaturity.
Yeah.
So I started, and that was one of my theses in my master graduation. How can I measure maturity in your organization about asset management? What is the logical roadmap to go to the next step? So you need to have a clear vision. That's about 10 years. I want to go from A to D, but then take 3 steps back. Okay, what is the logical, feasible, and reliable and realistic step going from A to B first? Otherwise, it's like utopia. So based on that, I also created the business capabilities. Why? If I'm looking to an asset management organization, it's really the same as a full organization, how it is set up in terms of main business domains. So you have a primary process, you have supporting processes. Similarly, you have this also in asset management. The primary process starts with, do I know my asset? And that's always my slogan. Do you know
Okay.
your asset? Because you start with IoT, but if you start with IoT without knowing your assets, it's like building the roof without having the foundation and the walls.
Okay.
It's short-term successful, but at a certain moment it will collapse. So go back to, do you know your assets? So that's my standing point, and that's the primary process. And then, do I know my assets? What do I want to do on these assets to keep them in good shape? So if I know my assets, what's the next logical step? What do I need to do in terms of corrective or preventive or even predictive maintenance? And the third step, what do I know about its condition? I see a lot of companies, they are doing time-based maintenance. Every half year or every year, I'm replacing a huge number of parts. And at the end, after 20 years, you see, okay, the asset never failed. But probably I overspent the maintenance with factor 3. That means from a technical point of view, it was very good. But from a financial health, it was very bad because you overspent it. So where is the right balance? So if I can measure real-time condition, I know, okay, I'm not going to maintain the asset. The asset itself is asking for maintenance before it goes to fill. And then you can do much more precise maintenance and services, reduce cost, but keep the condition in good shape. And the fourth step in this journey is, can I predict? So can I predict the end of life? Can I predict the next failure? And there IoT is coming in, AI is coming in, machine learning is coming in. So, and what is the benefit of IoT? I always said, okay, IoT was a hype 5 years ago. So I started 5 years ago with the XOT. So the principles of XOT. And what does this mean? If you are low mature, you still can start with XOT. And I call it HSOT, the human sensor of things. Please send your technician out every month and ask him to fill in an inspection with all the measurements, because that's the first measurement. Don't underestimate the technician. The technicians are the ears and the eyes in the field. They sense everything from the asset. If they take ownership, they know everything. So take them very serious, and they come back with a lot of information. After that, you can go to EOT, Internet of Things. Sometimes we forget that we already have over 50 years of PLCs and SCADA systems. And we receive a lot of data and we put it in some data lake, and we are not doing anything with it. Well, this is a wealth of knowledge. You can already start with gaining this knowledge. And even you can use a kind of machine learning for that to recognize patterns which you didn't store as a human, but the machine learning is going to recognize these patterns to say, okay, with this pattern, I see unwanted behavior, or I see hidden anomalies. And based on that, I know this asset is going to fill within 2 weeks. That's the prediction we want to have. Try to avoid that an asset is going to fill and repair it or service it before it's going to fill, because repairing is only half hour of downtime, but repairing it can be 2 days or even 1 week of downtime. And that causes a lot of impact, of course, for your operation. So I all took this back to the BCM model. So what are the typical business capabilities? Looking to asset register, looking to work management, looking to work resources. What are the dependencies? I call it business features. So what do you need to have in terms of data and process to continue this step? And the benefit of the BCM model, that every business feature is directly related to a kind of function or functionality in Maximo. So if I ask my client to fill in the BCM, where are you standing? What are your requirements, business requirements? What do you need to know? Then at the end, I know exactly what they need to have in Maximo and what needs to be implemented. And that's not the total suite. Sometimes you can start with only 10% of all the coverage of Maximo. And please start so, because if you start with an out-of-the-box Maximo, it can be very overwhelming. And you know, similar as me, Amit, if I see a functionality, although I do not have the process or the data, if I see it and I like it, it's not a wish anymore, it's becoming a requirement. And then you are starting with suboptimal digital transformation. So the digital transformation should be fully aligned and adjusted to your capabilities. And that's what the BCM is doing. And that's why you need to have a kind of domain expertise to be able to think outside in, because we know Maximo is a product. It covers 99% of all your requirements, even more. And even if you are low mature, it probably covers 800% of your requirements. But start only with the 80% or the 100%. That means this BCM is helping clients and companies to start right. And I learned, and you learned as well in agility, start small, scale
Yes,
fast.
correct. Agree.
And that's what BCM doing. And that's why we are using this BCM approach.
Okay. All right. So, like here, Jen, if we talk about the asset management and business processes, so we know that data and AI are embedded into IBM products like Cloud Pak or IBM Process Mining. So, how do you see these kind of technology shaping the future of asset management and business processes?
Well, to be honest, IBM, and we now know all what's next. What's next is, of course, a new branding and has a
Yeah.
lot of potential benefits. However, it also is including a lot of products which were already there for many, many years. If
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to the first infusion of AI within Maximo, the journey goes back to 2016. And then we
Okay.
started with Watson Studio. We had machine learning. We had this kind, and they called it preventive maintenance insights.
Mm-hmm.
Using all this AI and machine learning for the first 5 models, AI models, to predict the next failure and also predict the life cycle curve, which means, okay, is it going to reach its end of life according to the manufacturer, or can we extend it, or is it do we need to replace it much earlier? So that was the first prediction already. So that was there. AI, machine learning, I worked with that in 2017 together with IBM Research.
Okay.
A year later, we started with process mining, now known as Cloud Pak for Business Analytics. They call it planning analytics. I worked already, and Maximo already has scheduler optimizations since 2017, which means it's using SPSS statistic models to
Mm-hmm.
optimize the schedule of plant maintenance and also assigning to people. So these products were already there, and now they are much improved, but it started already there. So all the products were there. So looking to Maximo, Maximo already has AI, data and AI for a long time. I'm also a member of the IDA group. You know, IDA is a user group about data and AI.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Cosmos people over there. Well, I was working at IBM when Cosmos was acquired in 2007,
Okay.
sorry. In 2008, IBM Cosmos was already available in Maximo. It was a very early version, but still it's available in Maximo. It's free, so it's free license. Only you can use it with Maximo. So it's still there. And we are now also working with 12, which means data, AI is already there. However, as I told you, I'm a visionary, I'm a pessimist, so I'm looking ahead. What should be the logical next steps? Of course, generative AI, Gen AI.
Gen.
I'm looking together with IBM, and IBM has infused the first MVP products of Gen AI in Maximo. However, I think, from my experience, what is the best place to start with Gen AI is at technician level. I will explain you why.
Mm-hmm.
We are now in an era where young people don't want to work in the field anymore. They want to graduate, they want to have MBA, they want to have bachelor, they don't want to make their hands dirty. So there is a lack of young technicians. On the other hand, the experienced technicians, they are aging, and there is a moment they will stop. They will stop working in the field. What we are doing now with IBM, can we use a kind of augmented AI and also Gen AI, to get all this experience out of the heads of the senior people and bring it to the young technicians who are not that experienced, and help them with Gen AI. So I discussed with IBM Research, the best place to infuse and to start with Gen AI is in the field, at a technician. So they have a problem. They are standing for a pump. The pump is not working. They do not have a clue how to repair it. They can ask Gen AI, and it's infused by the experienced people. So you have to set up your own model, of course. That can be, and we can do that in GPT. We can do that in Watson-X. So can we use all this experience information from the aged people and bring it in a very, very logical, easy way? Can we bring it back as a result to the technician so that they directly can repair the pump first time right? That is really a vision. And that's also where I work together with IBM Research now. How can we get this in the product? Because if IBM is the first, you are the trendsetter. Yeah. If you wait until your competitors, you are a trend follower, and it's hard to gain business then. So I always I want to be the first. We have a golden principle. No, I have a golden principle that when a new version of Maximo is released, I want to have it installed within 24 hours.
Okay.
Why? I want to learn what's new. Does it make sense? Does it add value? And can I use it in all my business development work I'm doing? So can I convince industries, clients, well, with this new version, you can even achieve this. Also in terms of the BCM. So that's where I'm looking for. And I have multiple other ideas, but I learned sometimes you have to prioritize your ideas. Okay, this is the most important, then the second one, then the second one, then the second one. And that's something you learn by age or by experience, I think. Because if you are a youngster, you want to have everything and all which are requirements. But if you become a bit older, then you know, okay, let's shuffle a bit. This is not really a requirement, or this is not really a priority. Well, this is priority. So that's where you learn to prioritize.
Okay. All right. So even though like there are many things that we can discuss here in this podcast, but just because of the limitation of time, I would like to ask one of my last question, which is related to your personal journey. Because throughout your journey, like if you look back and if you have to figure out some of the key people like who have helped you to shape your career, maybe they could be your mentors, your colleagues, friends, family member. So who are those key person in your life, and what you have learned from them?
Well, first of all, and the most important one is my wife. And why my wife? Because she supported me in every decision I took in my professional career. I want to go to do this, and she supported me. And sometimes to learn something, it costs an amount of time. So it's a big offer you have to take. And so that's the first I want to thank. Another one who gave me a lot of insights is my professor at the master graduation, Mr. Tinsal. He gave me some very easy principles, which I still use till date, which always help me to make proper decisions. So focus on the things which are reliable, remove all the things which are not important enough. So that's what I learned. I want to thank Danny Bols. He's the founder of the company I work with, Snaps. And I want to thank him because he's a 100% pure ITer, technology architect. Worked always in open source before he was working with IBM Maximo. And he learned me the principles that it's very hard to try to implement a commercial off the shelf, which Maximo is. It's a commercial off the shelf in an agile way without having this open source principles of transparent communication, being in control, having standard operating procedures. So he set up our company and in a kind of way of working which makes us fully unique.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, I was not believing it, but now I'm working almost 10 years for this company. And after 3 years, I saw the light, and well, this is really uh, the only way to implement Maximo in a very controlled way is using this OpenShift and open source method. So I want to thank Danny Bolt, and of course I want to thank all my champion colleagues. I want to thank Libby giving me the platform to excel even more. And so that's also very important. And I have hundreds of people I want to thank, but these are the four which I want to thank specially.
All right. Okay, so before winding up this session, I just want to take one more question from you. And the question is like, what one piece of advice or lesson you have learned from your journey that you would like to share with all the listeners?
If you believe in something,
Mm-hmm.
if you follow your heart and you believe in something which you really like and you really adore, follow your ambition. Try to achieve it. It's really bumpy. It's a bumpy road. And sometimes you are at the peak of overconfidence, but the next day you can be in the valley of despair.
Correct.
So don't stop. Follow your passion. It's a bumpy road because it will gain a lot of extras to you, and it gains you also success. But it most of all, it gains you a lot of passion. And one of the things I learned, if you treat your work as passion,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a hobby. And
Correct.
a hobby never bores. You
Correct.
always want to work on your hobby, and then it isn't any problem to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week if you love your passion and you love your hobby. So believe in yourself and follow your heart. That is my advice.
All right. So thank you so much, Jan-Willem, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing your journey with us and for sharing all the expertise with all the audience. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Thank you very much, Amit. It was a privilege to be in your show, and I'm very honored to give my story back to you. Thank you.
Thank you.